Age Less, Live More was conceived from the idea that there's a lot of things in our life that are draining us. And I do mean us as a whole, but then very specifically my family. Whether it be the stresses of this, the situations that each of us are in, to us, we have 3 boys, 13, 10, 5, and one little girl who's 6 weeks old. My wife and I got married when I was 22 and she was 20. She couldn't drink on our honeymoon. And I've gone through everything since then. We've been married for 18 years, 4 kids. And I forgot to mention the 10-year-old boy, he has autism. We started to see a problem with him when he was about 4 months old. He was tilting his head and staring. So we knew there was something wrong. So that probably was one of the first big left turns we weren't expecting in our life. And we've had marital issues. We've had each one of our kids individually have had issues. I've had huge financial issues. And each one, there's been a couple things that have brought us through. One, first of all, being the Lord. That's our first and only. He has carried us through so many situations that I feel like in the Old Testament, where the prophet Isaiah was surrounded and they looked outside, he said, no, open your eyes again. It's not the enemy. Look at the angels that are outnumbering them. And so many times we've looked out our window and it's hard to see those things. And so one of the things that we came up with this Age Less, Live More was, how do we start to help encourage people from our wounds, the things we've suffered, help make sure that there's other people out there that can live better. And how to, even ourselves, how do we feel like we stop getting aged so quickly and we start living better? So that's what this is all about. So I say that as an encouragement because we're still in the middle of it, but you can get through it. We can get through it, and you can get through it. But you got to take steps to do so. One of the big steps we're doing right now as a family, my wife's probably the smartest person I've ever met. We're always trying new things and trying to learn more to be better parents for our 4. And we have very dynamic kids. Each one of them is very dynamic. And they're just like her. So we're constantly learning, and she takes the lead on that, and she does a wonderful job. But right now we're basically in a reset where we've taken away all of our screens. We've taken away pretty much every, quote, privilege that this world would view, and we're just trying to get back to basics. If you've ever heard of the AIP diet or the autoimmune protocol, which is basically for a food for kids with leaky gut situation, which our son had. We've done this diet about 4 years ago. You strip away everything to only about 4 ingredients. We literally had to push him so hard that he puked because he didn't want to give up his mac and cheese and chicken fingers, but he did. And because of it, he became gluten-free. And so many good things have happened since then. He started to read a month later. But that was a reset and a really, really hard one. And one that, admittedly, I am not good at pushing through when things get tough. I'm the one that babies everybody. And with my wife's clear direction, Ashley, and you're going to meet her, is keep going, pay the price, it'll get better. And it's such a good attitude to have. And so we're doing that right now for our family because we're tired of losing days. We're tired of having big fights over stupid things like the remote control. What show are we going to watch? Where are we going to go for dinner? All these problems that arise from this very toxic world we live in. And so it was my wife's idea, and I think the Lord laid it in her heart. Just one day she got up and said, we're going to just go back to basics. And we live in a small little place in a city. And I'll tell you, it has been the best thing that's ever happened. Has it been easy? No, it's been very, very hard. Very hard. But there's a couple changes that I have seen. Definitely, because we've eliminated all the extra things, the distraction, people are much more focused. These three boys are on task. Do they need to be redirected? Absolutely. But they're getting much better at staying on task. Two, I've seen amazing results with their imagination. There was always so many ideas that, well, when are we going to get our video game time? And we didn't give a lot, maybe an hour a day of TV and screen time. But it was always in the back of their mind, when are we going to get? When are we going to get? I've seen so much playtime, free playtime, building forts. Our 5-year-old and our 10-year-old, they fight a lot because they're basically at the same place mentally. So they have a lot of the same thoughts. But the 5-year-old is very bossy. So he and the 10-year-old, they've been playing great. And I really attribute it to this. We've eliminated all takeout. We've eliminated going to get ice cream. Not because we're trying to be mean, but we're trying to get focus back on what's important. And it starts, one, with Jesus Christ in our lives. Two, our foods, the environment we're in, we're trying to make it much more peaceful. And three, most importantly, we're trying to live better and age less. And so that's what we're trying to do in this reset. I'd encourage you to examine it. We can talk more about it if you DM us or if you send us an email. We're happy to talk about it further. I'd love to see some comments below. But we're doing all the other things too. We're doing everything else that you need to do. We're supplementing, drinking water, working out. Those things are all still important. We're doing this. I mentioned that in another video. This is a patch, non-transdermal patch. I've got multiple on right now. And each one of my kids, my wife, everybody has them on. And they are life-changing. They are a tool in the toolbox to help us feel better. And they literally are bringing additional light into our body without going into our system. So I don't have to worry about my autistic son's medicines and all of, he's not on medicines, but his supplements. I don't have to worry about any of that interacting. He had some detox, but we'll get into some of the amazing stories that we've seen with him. I've seen my oldest son, who's extremely athletic, have IT band problems over and over. Gone a couple days later after using this. My wife, Ashley, she's going to come on here. She's going to tell her testimony soon. She's seen good results. We're hoping to see more. She just got done with a very traumatic pregnancy. Amazing what women can do. She's a hero, superhero. Our little one, 5 years old, he feels really big and got big emotions. He wears 2 patches a day, and we're hoping that this is going to really, and you're going to see this journey, help to keep his nervous system calmer. And no matter what the ailment is, that's what's awesome about these things. Or not ailment. Sometimes we don't even know what we have. If you're just looking to build muscle, I have one on that's a muscle builder. I used to get testosterone injections every 6 months. I don't have to get those anymore. You know, I'm wide awake at 11 o'clock at night. I was up at 5 a.m. feeding the baby, and I'm out working out. My energy level is through the roof. And, you know, I think we're going to have some people on here to help explain this a little bit better because I'm not that great at it. But we're going to have some doctors on real life miracles that are happening with it too. So, you know, I just leave it today. I want to encourage you, no matter what you feel like you're surrounded by, God's got you surrounded more. And go out there today, just like we're going to go out there. And any battles we might have, any battles you might have, keep it in perspective. God's got it. And we want to age less, and we want to live more. That's my encouragement for you. If you like this, please click the like, subscribe it. Again, send us an email, direct message us. There will be a link as well for some of these things so we can start talking further about it. but also leave your comments of things you might want to see me talk about. God bless.